Last week we got to the end of the first part of the yang long form. As you all know, there are 3 parts. I think that rather than continue going through the form move by move, it would be more beneficial if we looked at some sequences and some specific moves, such as step back to repulse the monkey and cloud hands. This week we're going to look at the transition between the parts of the form. There's a slight difference between the way you do it between the first and second part, the second and third parts, but we will cover that. And once we've got that tucked up, then next week we will move on to probably step back to repulse monkey. We're looking at Embrace Tiger, Return to Mountain. It's a really big transition and is very good for practicing the way you do transitions. So as Jo starts to move, she moves her weight, turns her foot, you notice, holds the ball, and then all her weight goes back, so she's actually sitting. If you stop a second, she's actually sitting on her left hip. Now as she brings her hand to her shoulder, she turns into that hip, so the right leg is completely free and she can just step round as far as she can and shift her weight forward. So this position, we move in exactly the same way as we do in the first part of the form. Hand comes up, down and back, and then we go through Jai. You notice the weight goes all the way back again. Now this is Jai, on, so we come back and go forward, and then we sit back again, block to the right, turn our foot, block to the left, sit back, block to the right, as though we were going to go into single whip, but we don't. Now from here, if we were doing the first part of the form, we would have gone into single whip, but this time we step forward because we're going to turn and go into fist under elbow. Now if we go back again, if we go into the third part of the form, then we actually do go into single whip, only it's at an angle, so you're coming into the corner. Here we go again. Let's have another look at it. This is a different angle, but you can see how far back Jo comes when she sits down and blocks, and how she turns, and you can see her step out to the side and brush, knee and push, and then hand up and down, pulling back, Loi, Jai, sitting back, on, and then blocking and turning foot as she goes round, weight all on the left. This is huge transition. Can't quite see her blocking out there, but then she sits down And she steps parallel, goes fist under elbow, ready for the next move. Okay, moving on with Qigong. So far we've gone from Wu Qi to here, all of these positions, and last week we came down again. With this you're really more holding your hands back. It's difficult to say drop them because that implies no control. And when you're down here, think about your hands opening a little bit. That'll give structure if we ever test this position. And then from there again we curl our fingers, we come back to our waist, follow the thumbs, and you're here holding a ball. Focus on, again, reaching out a little bit. You don't want to be back here, it doesn't do anything. You want to be out there and open and sink your back. And again, every time you move, just as a reminder, settle down, get into position, relax. You're much more comfortable, you'll be able to stay there forever. Okay? And then next time we'll look at where you go from there. Okay?